I'm Rachel. Welcome back to my channel, and it is once again weigh-in day, but it's actually not Wednesday. It is Thursday. Yesterday kind of got away from me, but my weigh-in from yesterday morning was what you just saw. I didn't look at the footage. I think I weighed in somewhere around 282, which put me up a little bit from last week when I weighed in at 279. But that has kind of been the story of my entire week. I've been bouncing back and forth between 279 and 282. And this has been going on for like a few weeks now. So to be 100% honest, I'm not pleased at all with the fact that I'm hitting a stall. Adiposity set point, call it what you want. It has been really discouraging. I think this week has probably been the most difficult week I've had in a very, very long time, simply because I am so discouraged. It it sucks when you're doing all the work and not seeing any results, you know? So I did have one screw up this week. We went out to dinner on Sunday night, and I ordered a salad, and I kind of overindulged in the dressing. I didn't weigh it or measure it, but I knew that it was probably more than I should be having. I didn't go crazy. Like, I'm not the type of person who drowns my salad in dressing, but it was definitely more than, a fat serving. So after that, I had kind of like an F it moment, and then I ate the Andes mint that came with the bill. So that was not a proud moment, but that was the extent of my eating off plan this week. Everything else has been bright, just the way it should be. So that's the only thing that's gone wrong this week. And I really do think a lot of that happened because I've been feeling really down about the lack of progress that I have been having the last few weeks. And it's also been especially stressful dealing with all of this stuff with the doctors. I did get my MRI results back on my knee and my shoulder, which I've talked about a little bit before, and neither of them were good. At this point, I'm waiting to see the orthopedic specialist to find out if surgery is going to be required. And with my anxiety and my hypochondria, that's kind of set me into a tailspin because I obsess over it at a very unhealthy level. So, yeah, I don't know when that's going to be. I'm still waiting to hear back from the orthopedic specialist. So for now, I'm just trying to rest my leg, rest my arm, which is making me very stir crazy and bored because pretty much the only thing I've been able to get out and do is go to the doctor. Like, my life is boring right now. I kind of wanted to touch on lifers. I had made up my mind to quit lifers. So basically because of the cost. At this point, I was like, well, you know what? It might be worth it for me to stay in lifers because I am struggling this week, and who knows how long this stall is going to last. But at the same time, some of my treatments and testing that I've had to go through are not covered by my insurance. So affording lifers has been a little bit of an issue because I have all these added medical costs that I don't normally have. So I reached out to lifers intending to cancel. And they wrote back and they were willing to work with me on billing a little bit so that I could stay in the program for now. So for now, I am still in lifers. And even though I haven't really been using the resources to my advantage as much as I could be or should be or at all even, given my current state and being stuck in this stall and dealing with so much, I think it's probably advisable that I stay in, just because I think right now I am extremely vulnerable to just giving up. I'm kind of, really frustrated, not quite to that point yet, but I feel like it would just take like one more negative thing to kind of push me over to the edge and totally blow it, and that's not what I want to do. That's not where I want to be. So even if I'm not using the resources right now, that's not to say that I might not need them soon. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and stay in. So we were able to work it out to where I could, squeeze it into my budget. Still not comfortably, but it's better than not being in at all, I think, at this point. So that's kind of where I've been all week. Not very motivating, sorry. I mean, it can't all be rainbows and butterflies, right? I mean, I was doing really, really well. I got to that 70-pound mark so easily, and then it's like, nah, you're done. I mean, I know I'm not done, but yeah. So I'm really, really, really trying to stick it out and trying to stay positive. And as I've said before, focus on the bright lines, you'll lose the weight. Focus on the weight, you'll lose your bright lines. So just repeating that to myself over and over and over and over again, as many times as it takes to stick with the plan, you know? So anyway, so that's where I'm at. So the plan this week is to stick to my bright lines. I don't know if I mentioned, I did reach out to some people in Lifers, particularly the Lifers from Big Numbers group, to find out if anybody else had hit a plateau so far from goal. And it turns out that, thankfully for me, not for them, because I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but thankfully for me, it does seem pretty common for people to hit a plateau for, 2 to 6 weeks once they've lost somewhere between 50 and 75 pounds. And some of those people had reached out to the accountability calls and gotten some counseling, and I got some tips from them on what to do if I do not break this plateau soon. So some of those suggestions were either go to maintenance and stick to maintenance for a couple of weeks and then go back to the weight loss plan, which for me is a last resort. Being a person who was a 10 on the susceptibility scale when I joined Brightline, I don't think it's very safe for me to jump into the maintenance plan and add starches and grains only to have to give them up again. I think it would be hard for me to go back to no grains at lunch and dinner. So I don't want to do that. That'll be kind of like a last resort if something doesn't work. Some of the other suggestions were intermittent fasting, increasing protein, increasing fat, basically increasing something and then letting your body kind of adjust to that increase in calories and nutrition, and then cut it back and go back to the standard weight loss plan and see if you start, that kind of jump starts everything. So for now, I'm going to stick to the plan as it is, and if I don't see that scale move pretty soon, then I may start making some short-term adjustments to my food, some very conservative changes, because I don't want to make any big changes to my plan that I feel like might be hard to give up later on. So that's where I'm at. I hope everyone's having a good week, and I'll be back in a week with another update and hopefully some lower numbers on that scale. Bye.